Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news all right. Folks, buckle up because what's brewing in the NFL right now could have some serious ripple effects, especially for the Falcons. Rumors are swirling around Patrick Queen, the dynamic linebacker from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and there's a real possibility that Atlanta could be making a move to bring him in. And let me tell you, if this happens, it's not just about adding a player, it's about shifting the entire balance of our defense and potentially our entire season. So let's dive into what's happening behind the scenes. The Steelers, sitting at a 5-4 record, are reportedly open to trading Patrick Queen, especially as they look to free up some cap space, about $8 million, and focus on bolstering their offensive line and other areas. With the contract disputes involving Fields and other salary cap considerations, Pittsburgh's management seems willing to part ways with Queen, who's been a real speed enforcer at linebacker. They're reportedly eyeing a second-round pick in the 2026 draft in exchange, and their focus is on acquiring young, explosive pass rushers or edge players to complement their defense. The odds for the Steelers making the playoffs are around plus 300, and their linebacker depth is already solid with Highsmith, but losing Queen would be a hit, especially considering how highly they regard his ability to impact the game. Now the Falcons, they've been a bit in a holding pattern this season, sitting at 3-5. They're dealing with injuries, too. Anderson's on the PUP list with a knee injury, and Deblo is on injured reserve due to concussion issues. That's left the linebacker core a little thin and in need of fresh energy. That's where Queen fits perfectly. He's a player that can bring speed, agility, and that instinctive playmaking ability that Atlanta desperately needs to elevate their defense. With the additional pressure on our secondary, a linebacker who can cover ground quickly and make plays at the line of scrimmage is exactly what the doctor ordered. Let's talk about Queen's talent a bit more because his stats are impressive. The guy is the kind of linebacker who accelerates through midfield like a missile. In 2025, he's already racked up 62 tackles, including 3 tackles for loss, and even snagged an interception. His PFF grade for 2024 is projected to be a Pro Bowl-worthy 88. 2. And considering that he's been a consistent performer with over 550 tackles and 8 sacks in his career, he's no stranger to making an impact. His coverage stats are solid too, with a missed tackle rate around 5.1%, and he's got the speed, running a 55 40-yard dash, that makes him a real threat on third downs. His run-stop win rate is at an impressive 79%, and he's been a force against the run, allowing just 4 yards YAC per reception. All this points to a player who, given the right system, can elevate a defense to the next level. What makes Queen even more attractive for Atlanta is his versatility. He's not just a run stopper. He's a player who can blitz effectively, winning nearly 71% of his blitzes, and he's adept at reading plays, reacting quickly, and forcing turnovers, something the Falcons could definitely use more of, especially considering their struggles in creating turnovers this season. His ability to generate pressure and make plays in coverage could help balance Atlanta's defense, which has been solid but inconsistent. Adding him could be the spark that turns the Falcons' defense into a more formidable unit, especially in critical third-down situations. Now, looking at the bigger picture, the Steelers seem willing to trade Queen to bring in some balance, whether it's to bolster their offensive line or to draft younger talent at linebacker. They're aiming for a 9-8 finish this season, with playoff odds around plus 200, which isn't bad but also not a lock. Losing Queen might hurt their depth at linebacker, but they're counting on players like Highsmith and others to fill the gaps. The risk, of course, is that they could lose an enforcer who's been a key part of their defense, similar to what the Panthers experienced in 2019 when they lost Kuechly, or the Seahawks dip after Wagner's departure in 2022. For Atlanta, though, this represents an opportunity. Queen's addition would immediately boost the linebacker group, which has been somewhat underwhelming this season. Current starters like Cadden Ellis and Troy Anderson have shown flashes, but Queen's speed and instincts could give us a real advantage. Imagine him lining up on third downs. His stats show he's effective in those situations, and with his ability to stop the run and cover tight ends or backs, he can be a real mismatch for offenses. His projected impact on the Falcons could be transformative. With over 110 tackles projected for the rest of the season, he'd be a leader on our defense, helping us generate more turnovers and get off the field more consistently. Statistically, Queen's presence would also make a difference in our third down efficiency. His tackling, coverage, and blitzing skills could lead to an increase of around 14% in third down stops, pushing us into the top 15 defenses. That's a huge boost for a team trying to stay competitive and make a playoff push. Our secondary, which is currently ranked 19th in EPA pass, could breathe easier with a linebacker who can read plays faster and set the edge better. This, in turn, would allow our pass rush to be more aggressive and force more mistakes from opponents. Looking deeper into the potential playoff implications, the trade for Queen could be a game changer. His speed, paired with the Falcons' existing talent, would make us more unpredictable, especially in late-game situations. If he can replicate the kind of impact that players like Warner have had with the 49ers, boosting tackles by over 160 for the season, the Falcons could see a significant leap in their defense. His ability to generate pressure, combined with his tackling and coverage skills, would help us contain mobile quarterbacks like Mayfield, which has been a challenge at times this year. Plus, with the NFC South still wide open, a strong defensive upgrade could be the difference between a wild card berth or missing out entirely. Now, what about the Steelers? Well, they're expected to lose some depth at linebacker if they trade Queen, but they're banking on their other assets and draft picks to fill the gaps. Still, the risk remains. Losing a player of Queen's caliber could come back to bite them, especially if their season doesn't pan out as planned. Their odds for a Super Bowl are currently at +1,200, which shows they're still in the mix but not favorites. For Atlanta, though, this move could be the key piece needed to elevate our defense from good to elite, especially considering the competition in the NFC and the importance of strengthening our front seven for a deep playoff run. As the trade rumors intensify, fans are buzzing. The possibility of bringing Queen into our locker room has everyone dreaming about what could be. His speed, leadership, and playmaking ability could be the X factor that puts us over the top. The Falcons have been a team on the rise this season, and adding a player like Queen, who fits perfectly into our scheme, could be what propels us into genuine contenders. It's a bold move, sure, but sometimes in the NFL, bold is exactly what it takes to make history. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all this? Do you think bringing Patrick Queen into the fold is the move we need to make a serious playoff push? How would he fit into our defense, and do you believe he can be the difference maker we're looking for? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. Remember, this is a team effort, and your voice helps shape the conversation. I'll be back soon with more updates on this potential trade and everything else happening around the league, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. Let's keep the passion alive and keep pushing forward as one family, united in our love for the Falcons and our quest for another Super Bowl victory.